dementia residents say, reintroduce us to the outside world. We want to know what's going on. We need to know what's going on. It's all very well to hear about what's happening through the newspaper reading or reading the newspaper, but we want to be able to see it. This is the common refrain in Christchurch. The dementia residents so often want to go and see the cathedral, the central point in our city, the Anglican cathedral, especially because many of the residents are actually Anglican and they haven't seen it since the earthquake demolished it. So they want to be able to go and see what's happening with the city downtown. Now, this is a common complaint and a common problem because the van outings once a week don't often take these central points into consideration. So outings with family to be able to see these points of interest are very valuable, if at all, if this can happen. So in terms of the cathedral and getting to the cathedral for dementia residents in Christchurch and how we partway went about this, the first thing is that for the dementia residents van outings each week, it's a very small van, unfortunately. It only carries 5 residents, and there's 30 residents in the dementia unit, about 15 of whom would like to get out. So they only really get out once every 3 weeks because, you know, of the limited space. And sometimes another relative has to go to help, then it's only 4 people that get out. So that's all very restricted, as well as the fact that often the van driver's in a hurry, or maybe they don't take the care to listen to what the dementia residents are asking. And so often I used to say to the dementia residents, ask the van driver to take you downtown to see the cathedral. Anyway, they always seem to come back having gone to see the ducks and the daffodils at Hagley Park. Maybe the beach, which is good, or the farms, you know, out in the wop-wops, but they didn't get downtown, as far as I know, at all. Probably congestion of traffic had something to do with it, but the thing is, it's so important for these outings that the residents can at least go down, you know, downtown once and see what's going on. I mean, even if they can't remember it exactly, they'll have some recognition so that when they come back, if they say to you, look, I haven't been downtown to see the cathedral, and they actually have been, you can say, well, actually, you have been on the trip. You went for the trip last Tuesday in the bus and you really enjoyed it. Now, if that person trusts you and can take your word for it, which hopefully they can, they'll link into that and be reassured with the fact, okay, so I have been right, okay, I'll try and sort of remember that if I can, and they'll feel reassured that, you know, the effort has been made to take them there. But if not, as a family member, if you can take your mother to the point of interest downtown to where she'd like to go, that is such a reconciling, heartwarming, confirming experience for them, and a very valuable one. And it doesn't have to happen all the time, but, you know, just to go even once makes a big difference. For example, there was one dementia resident. She was a former school teacher and she loved art. She was actually a good artist herself and was still drawing, if you can believe, portraits in the facility, and good portraits of the residents. When she was, you know, sitting down amongst in the day, she'd just get out her paper and crayon and do these fabulous lifelike portraits of other residents. And she improved in time with her skills. Well, her son was good. He used to take her out on fabulous trips. And one particular trip was actually downtown near the cathedral to Hagley Park, which, you know, all the lovely daffodils and flowers and band rotunda and the fountain of Hagley Park. Most of the ladies know. They always used to visit there for special Sunday walks. And so he took her there and had a lovely cup of coffee there, and then on to a very prestigious art show nearby, near the art gallery, where a lot of the famous Goldie paintings were of Maori chiefs and chiefesses with their famous moko tattoos, which this resident knew about. and she recognised the paintings, knew them well because she'd studied them. And she went to this fabulous art gallery, and she came back, she'd remembered the lot. Amazing. It was such an impacting experience for her, such a powerful experience, that memory stayed with her for months after that. That yes, she'd been to the art gallery, yes, she'd been to that exhibition, and she'd seen the Goldie paintings. She didn't remember what she had for lunch or breakfast, but she did remember those Goldie paintings. And it was, you know, it really lifted her for months, that one trip. And so this is how, you know, this is how experiences, good quality experiences, are really important to be able to reintroduce residents to the outside world, so they can then have some connection with it, some talking point, some point of interest they can link into, that their son, their lovely son, has taken them out, a powerful point of pride amidst the other ladies. And it's a sense of solace, isn't it, that your family member, son or daughter, has made that effort to take you out. You know, it reassures you that all is well in the world, which indeed it can be in a dementia unit if things are done in a way to be able to, you know, help the person think and have good quality experiences and a quality of life as a result of that. So these are just some ways of reintroducing people to the outside world. Another way that one of the dementia residents, she was a lovely lady, and she had a really charming daughter who was a carer herself, and she used to take her home every Sunday afternoon for the whole afternoon, just to be at home. Now, what a wonderful thing that was, to be able to reintroduce you or keep that continuity going with the outside world, as if there was, you know, she just carried on as she had for years probably, mum coming home for Sunday afternoon lunch and afternoon with the family. It's absolutely perfect. You know, it would be so good if other families could do this. She was mobile, admittedly. You know, she didn't have any physical problems, so she was able to go out quite easily. But she'd sit there with the grandchildren and watch TV and have a lovely lunch and have a nice time in the home with her daughter, have a chat, and then come back to the dementia facility after 3-4 hours. And she was always settled, always stable, never anxious. That half day each week sustained her so well. She had a beautiful smile. She didn't speak much. She was pretty low on confidence, I think, but she had a sweet nature. Everyone really liked her, though she didn't make a specific friend. I mean, she could have if she communicated a little more, but she just didn't communicate. She could communicate because she would actually speak to me after the sessions and say, "Thank you, that was lovely." But I think she was just so shy. She couldn't bring herself to speak within the group, even though, of course, she spoke to her daughter. But anyway, with that half day that she spent with the daughter each week, outside in the, you know, outside world, being reintroduced to the family and the fresh air and the sunshine and the birds and the bees, it just completely enabled her to manage those other 6.5 days at the dementia unit without any stress. So these are the ways, you know, that really, examples of ways that can really help. Keeping that person connected with the outside world is very important for the person's, you know, state of mind and ability to be able to keep that stability within the dementia unit, because of the enriching experiences that they're still continuing to get outside the dementia unit, which they can then bring back with them to the inside. So these are 2 books I've written, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, all about the residents and their voice, all of it being from their perspective, that being the whole point of it, and how to help them with their thinking and integration and quality of life, so that they can, you know, enjoy their time as best as practically possible at a dementia unit. So thank you for your looks and your subscriptions and your support. Really appreciate the subscriptions. And if you're interested in this channel and gaining from it, please subscribe and send links on to others so that we can build up this little platform here. Thank you.